You start the episode, Ash.
Oh, God.
I thought that you just listened to a podcast about improv.
No, it wasn't about improv. It was inspiring me to be more improvisational, but that doesn't mean that I'm there yet.
Now, challenge, go.
I can't.
Look into my eyes.
I am.
Channel me. Remember, you know how I just say something.
I can't.
Look around the room.
I literally cannot.
Look around the room.
Taryn, I cannot.
Look around the room. Look at this lip gloss right now.
I'm looking at it.
Tell me something.
I can't.
Ask me a question.
Why is it so tiny?
Today's episode is brought to you by SimpliSafe. When an intruder threatens your home, every second counts. It's why we are so excited to tell you about the latest innovation from SimpliSafe Home Security. It's called 24/7 Live Guard Protection, and it's made possible only by SimpliSafe's new Smart Alarm Wireless Indoor Camera.
The new camera is also the only indoor security camera that can trigger the alarm and instantly deter intruders with a built-in siren. As you guys know, I moved out on my own this past year, and this is something that has been a game changer for me. I have never slept better, and that's saying something. The camera is also advanced motion detection, and Vision AI can sense the difference between potential intruders and pets, which again, another game changer. Your dog's not going to trigger this one. And it has 24/7 live guard protection, and the new Smart Alarm indoor camera works seamlessly as part of the entire SimpliSafe security system to keep your whole home safe from break-ins, fires, flooding, and more.
Right now, Unsolicited Advice listeners get a special 20% off any SimpliSafe system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. This huge offer is for a limited time. Visit simplisafe.com/advice. That's simplisafe.com/advice. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Okay, I have a fun fact for you.
Okay. I am literally your biggest cheerleader. I get so excited. Even like to the point where like you'll say something and I'll be like, Ash, that was really funny. And you're like, thanks, Taryn.
I read on Instagram today that there are 59 days until pumpkin spice latte is back.
Wow.
And that's my fun fact for you.
Woo! She did it, y'all. Woo! Someday. I'm going to be like, Ash, I'm going to throw something at you and you're going to do it without
No. One of these days, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go, and you're just going to, whatever you had planned will have to be shelved because of the monumental moment of me just going.
You know what's great, though? I'll be able to pick right up where I said.
Yep.
Whereas if I do that to you,
I'm lost forever.
Goodbye, thought.
It's like the movie Ants. Do you remember this? When the leaf falls and it splits the line, and the ant at the beginning of the second line is like, I'm lost. Yeah. Because he doesn't know what to do.
Dude, that's
because the line has been severed. That is me.
That is you.
That is me in a nutshell.
That is you.
If I don't have a map telling me where to go, I'm lost.
It would be so much work, but I would love if we went back over all of the podcast footage. Just a compilation of me saying a joke and you like not even acknowledging it and just like continue. You stop your sentence and then I say it and you kind of like look at me for a second and then just continue the sentence. It would be so funny.
You know what? I'm totally fine with that. If you want to take that task upon yourself.
I don't want to.
You go ahead and
that's a
you
lot
go ahead
of
and do that.
Watching ourselves.
Can't do that.
I don't want to commit to that.
Taryn and I both have an equal hatred of listening to ourselves, which is funny given what I do.
Literally.
What you do.
Yeah, literally.
But it's tough sometimes to like not only edit yourself, but then like I should probably listen to this episode and like critique myself. Yeah. But like
I will
who
say
has time for that?
Before when we first started the podcast, my biggest thing was I hated hearing the way that my voice sounded.
Yeah.
But over the years, I've gotten used to it. Also, I've had so many people, which I still don't know if I agree with this statement, but I do think it's helped my confidence in liking my voice more.
For sure.
I've had so many people say that I have a really good
You do
podcast
have a really good
voice,
podcast voice.
which is so bizarre to me.
I think it's because I think a lot of people tend to like fluctuate, like have really high pitched moments.
Yeah.
And that's not fun to listen to.
That's true. That's
Also,
true.
you're a singer. I feel like most singers have nice voices.
Huh.
But like I could listen to Ariana Grande talk for days. Like she just has that like raspy, like it's just like it's Ariana.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. Or that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Today is the 10th. We're doing a twofer today, so
Good luck.
get your seatbelts on.
Off to a great
It's gonna be
start.
crazy. Our twofers, second episode of twofers is always wild, but that means that this episode's coming out on the 17th, which means this week is your birthday.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh.
I panicked.
My birthday was 10 days ago.
Damn it! This should have gone in the last episode.
It's okay. Still, talk to me about how special I
your
am.
birthday just passed.
Tell me about all the ways I've blessed your life, Ashley.
How old are we this year?
I'm not talking about it. I've decided.
Oh. How many? I don't know where to go from here.
Okay, we're gonna help Ash out. We're gonna throw our lifeline. That's a lot of improv.
So we
that's
don't want to
been
talk
thrown.
about your birthday. Was that?
Oh, we can talk about it. This year,
have
you
we
know what
have
I'll
we
say?
gone into the we're not talking about our age?
No, I
phase?
actually don't care. I'm turning 36,
Okay.
but I also just feel like the reason I hate saying my age is not because of how I personally feel about it, but it's because of the stupid freaking comments that people will say after that, where they're like, "Oh, your childbearing years are starting to
an
shorten."
end.
Like,
have you thought
shush.
about freezing your eggs?
Shush.
I don't know
I
why
can't. Literally.
That
I
voice.
can't. So that's where I'm like, I hate everyone's so shocked when I say my age, which is like a compliment. They'll be like, you look so young, or like, no way, oh my gosh, like, how are you not married? I'm like, I don't know, Susan, but thank you for reminding me.
You, Susan.
No, I'm fine. No, this year has been weird because I feel like I've been just so focused on like life in general. And stuff's been so busy, and like all my like health stuff and whatever, I totally forgot my birthday is coming. And like even Ash texted me, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
She's like, "What are we doing for your birthday?" Because usually I love my birthday. I'm the annoying person that's like the 1st of July. I'm like, everything for this month is about me.
You know, you're the person who usually has like three parties. It's like family only dinner, and then it's like a bestie circle dinner and drinks, and then there's a party.
Yeah.
So there's always like 3 things.
Yeah.
Which I've always been so jealous of. Like anyone who can have 3 things for their birthday, I'm always just like, what a life. Christ just came in and took over mine, so I can't really do anything. But like that's why I was like, hey, what's the plan? Like,
Dude,
what are we doing?
I know, and I've put 0 thought into it, so I still have to figure out. I mean, my birthday is now in 10 days, so I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, and it's not like a negative thing. It's not like a, oh, I'm just like depressed and I don't want to celebrate. Like I do, but it's just that's like the last thing that's been on my mind recently. So I got to figure it out. But yeah, I'm excited. I love my birthday. I love that feeling of like reflecting over. I mean, especially this past year. Like, sheesh. Like if I think about where I was last year compared to like now, it's so nuts. Like night and day. So I'm really excited to like take time to intentionally like reflect on that, and just honestly, I'm so proud of myself. Like this season has just like taught me who I am as a person, and like how I react in hard situations, and the strength that I do have. And I don't think a lot of us like realize how strong we are until it's like really tested.
1,000%.
So I'm really excited to reflect on like what I've come through, but also like I'm super excited about this year just because I feel like I'm just like freaking coming out of my cocoon and I'm just excited to see like where life goes from here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I'm excited, but I just have not planned anything at all.
Well,
rough.
36 years of pure
Yes.
Taryne bliss.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you feel like it, listener, maybe head over to her Instagram and leave her a nice little comment because I'm sure
Yeah.
there's going to be a birthday post.
Hopefully.
Head on over there, even though it was a while ago. When
Just
you
be
listen
like,
to this.
I know this is late. Well, I'm sure we'll like they'll know that if you follow our Instagram, you should know
Actually,
everything.
should we take a moment? Y'all should be following us on socials, period, but specifically Taryne because it's her birthday month.
Yeah, rude.
So hello, what are you doing?
Yeah, good times. Anyways, enough about me, Ash.
Stop
How
it.
are you?
You love it. I'm good. I'm doing so good.
Good.
That's all I got. I cannot with twofers. They kill me. They kill me.
You even have a coffee over there?
That's I had pre-workout this morning and I
a
had this
coffee?
coffee. Yeah. But you know,
Do you want to sip up my Monster? There's still some.
definitely do not. I definitely do not. I'll get real weird
Yeah.
if I have that after having pre-workout this morning.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I have also been, I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I've been diving into ADHD because I told you guys my dad got diagnosed a couple of years ago. And it was fascinating listening to this Mel Robbins podcast on how she got diagnosed at the age of like 40 something. And she was talking about like the how women get misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
And how it shows itself differently in women than it does men.
Yep.
And how coffee is considered a stimulant, or caffeine is considered a stimulant that like actually helps you focus. I've never related to anything more in my life. And I don't get mad at myself for drinking tons of caffeine anymore because I used to try to like wean myself, or I have in the past tried to wean myself off of it. And you know what? It was bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just accepting.
Good.
I'm just accepting and I'm having the second coffee.
Yeah. No, it's like a real thing. Like even with my job, because I, obviously like I work with like trying to catch it like in kids. And it is actually insane. Like the statistics of girls who get diagnosed with like ADHD, autism, like a ton of developmental things versus boys, because boys, there's a lot more like behaviors attached to it. So they get flagged pretty early on because they're like causing a ruckus in the classroom, right?
Yeah,
Whereas
that
girls,
was my dad.
Yeah, it's very like within them. Like it's going on in their mind, and they just might be like a lot quieter or reserved because they're trying to like process everything that's going on in their environment. So it is nuts. Like I definitely, I swear everyone has a touch of something, and I'm totally affirm.
It is a spectrum.
Yeah, like I would love to know that when I finally find my new therapist, I'm definitely going to talk about, or I guess ADHD is more like doctor, but I would love to know if I have it. I would love to know. Not that like I think I would change like getting on medication and stuff unless it's like very heavily like recommended, but just to officially know and to like get to know myself through that lens and like how I can help support myself. I think it's fascinating, and I don't think it ever means anything's wrong with you. It's just your brain functions in a way that's different. So why would you always put yourself in a box?
Yeah.
When like that toy didn't even come in that box. Like it can't fit in that box.
Well, I think that's the whole freeing thing from it is realizing, oh, there's a reason why it took me 6 years.
Why this is hard for
to
me.
graduate. Why I had to take algebra 3 times to pass. Like why I couldn't focus in class. Like why school was so hard. It's just like, oh, that tracks and that makes sense now, and you don't have to be so hard on yourself.
No,
anymore.
absolutely. I love that.
Anyways,
I love that.
Should we start it off with a tearing it up?
Would love.
As you guys know, this is the best part of this episode, when you guys send in funny stories for us to laugh at you, but most importantly, with you.
What?
With
At,
you.
not at you, with you.
Both.
And Ashley is just full blown taking this segment as her own.
It's mine.
It's hers.
It's tearing it up. by Ashley.
I'm the CEO, but she's every other position. She's HR. She is the director. She's social
Marketing.
media. She's everything.
She does it all,
Yeah.
folks. This one is titled The Not So Elegant Dive.
Ooh.
Hey, Taryn and Ash. I listen to the pod every week religiously, and you ladies are my favorite people to listen to.
Aww.
Your advice is so genuine and pure, and I hope you ladies understand how much of an impact that you have made.
I love that. Thank you.
This is why I'm super excited about this next part. Anyways, on to my story for today. As a fellow Taryne, without the E though.
Oh.
So her name is Taryn.
That's more common. My mom threw that E in there, which threw everyone off.
Taryne.
Taryne.
Turn.
Or what does Siri always correct my name to? Tartness, which I don't understand. Every time I'll get so many texts that say, "Hey, Tartness," and then someone's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "No, Apple thinks my name should be Tartness."
Yeah. What did I texted you? Your name came out wrong the other day.
Oh yeah, it was funny.
What was
I can't
it?
remember though.
I don't remember what it was, but it's never corrected to that before, and it made me laugh. But yeah, I love your name. You're the first Taryn I ever met, and I just, being a Ashley of freaking 3,000s that were also born in Riverside, I love a unique name. Anyways, getting back to your tearing it up. She writes, I have a lot of funny and embarrassing things that happen to me on a regular basis, which is extra hard for me to deal with because I am a perfectionist and an Enneagram 1, which is the perfectionist essentially. But here is just one embarrassing story that I wish I could live down. So let's set the scene. It was my senior year of high school, and I joined the swim and dive team to do something different for my senior year. And proud of you. Not everyone can take a big pivot like that.
No, also not everyone's a strong swimmer.
Me.
Like me. Or can swim
Me
without
just floating
holding
in the
their
lake.
nose.
That was a low blow.
No, that
was a low blow.
It's cute. When Ashley jumps in a pool, she holds her nose, and it's like the cutest thing ever.
So I'm going to side story. So in Colorado, we went to visit my boyfriend's best friend since like he was 3.
Oh,
he was like his
cute.
neighbor.
Yeah.
And he lives in this beautiful neighborhood with this like local neighborhood pool that's just for the neighborhood. And so we go, and Jackson's in there with his niece and his best friend's son, and his friends in there, and they're like playing and having so much fun. And I told Jackson, I had like a mental breakdown basically that morning because we weren't planning on going to the pool, and I did not bring a family-friendly bathing suit.
Oh.
And so I was like, I can't swim.
Yeah.
I need to go buy one. Go to Target. Couldn't find a single one in my
Really?
size. Yeah. So like the tops was either a small and too tight, or the bottoms were too big. Like I couldn't find one matching suit. And then if I did find one, it just looked horrible.
Yeah.
So I kind of cried in the changing room because like putting on bathing suits sometimes is tough.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like jean shopping, but worse.
Yeah.
So I had a moment, and I was like, cool, I'm not swimming. It's totally fine. Like I'll just sit on the side. I'll buy myself some like June Shine and have a day in the corner. But then like we get there and it's so hot, and he was like, Ash, just like change into your bathing suit. It's totally fine. Like, and I was like, fine, I will, but I'm just going to like walk with my t-shirt on. Cause it was very cheeky, and I just felt like weird. Yeah. So I had this big baggy t-shirt. So I kept it on. And when I got to my seat, like I turned the chair around. Yeah. So I was facing the sun and away from everyone. And I took my shirt off so that I could tan and not have weird tan lines. And out of nowhere, because it's blazing hot, I'm sweating, but I will not walk in front of these children. Yeah. Right? I like refuse. Out of nowhere, Jackson comes up, scoops me up, fully scoops me up, throws me into the pool midair. I'm like, I was so shocked and thrown off. And like Taryn said, I can't go underwater without holding my nose. I'm literally midair. I'm like covering my butt. I'm like laughing. I'm like with one hand trying to cover my butt so the kids don't see my cheeks, and then I'm like simultaneously trying to plug my nose as I'm going into the water.
Did you get it in time?
I did it.
Oh, thank God.
I did it, and I ended up having so much fun. And then I just like scurried out of the pool when I was able to, but it was funny because I panicked midair trying to
oh my gosh
plug my nose.
Honestly, Walmart clutch for bathing suits.
Really?
Their bathing suit section, top notch.
Yeah, it was very like, it reminded me of middle school
for next time
having
if
to
it
put on a
happens.
suit, and I was just
Ashley's like, I will never travel again without my Speedo onesie.
yeah, I'm gonna have my
Why'd I call it a
tanning
onesie?
suit, and I'm gonna have my like one piece.
You're fun.
Forevermore.
Family friend.
Yes,
Family friend.
forevermore.
Today's episode is brought to you by SimpliSafe. When an intruder threatens your home, every second counts. It's why we are so excited to tell you about the latest innovation from SimpliSafe Home Security. It's called 24/7 Live Guard Protection, and it's made possible only by SimpliSafe's new Smart Alarm Wireless Indoor Camera. Now, with a Fast Protect monitoring plan, if an intruder breaks into your home, SimpliSafe monitoring agents can actually see, speak to, and deter them through the camera, warning them that they're being recorded and that police are on their way. It's a game changer in home security.
The new camera is also the only indoor security camera that can trigger the alarm and instantly deter intruders with a built-in siren. As you guys know, I moved out on my own this past year, and this is something that has been a game changer for me. I have never slept better, and that's saying something. The camera is also advanced motion detection, and Vision AI can sense the difference between potential intruders and pets, which again, another game changer. Your dog's not going to trigger this one. And it has 24/7 live guard protection, and the new Smart Alarm indoor camera works seamlessly as part of the entire SimpliSafe security system to keep your whole home safe from break-ins, fires, flooding, and more. And with SimpliSafe, professional monitoring costs under $1 a day, which is a bargain and a lot cheaper than your everyday latte.
Right now, Unsolicited Advice listeners get a special 20% off any SimpliSafe system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. This huge offer is for a limited time. Visit simplisafe.com/advice. That's simplisafe.com/advice. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
And that's what I learned this summer.
Love
Moving
that.
on. What did you say?
What are we talking about?
I don't remember. Dive team, do something different for my senior year, and you were like, not everyone is a strong enough swimmer, aka me. Moving on. She adds, I now just finished my freshman year in college, and I still don't think I've recovered from this.
Oh no.
Well, dang. It was homecoming dance day, and I had a dive meet in the morning before the dance. All of us girls were warming up on the diving boards before the meet officially started, but the stands were still very full at this point. There is a dive, and I was competing at this meet, and it's called an inverse dive. It's very hard to explain, so I'll attach a picture. So here is the picture.
Of the dive?
Of the dive. So the inverse dive, you're actually facing away from the pool on the diving board.
That's the one where they like sandwich.
Yes.
They jump
fold.
up and then they fold and then they like straighten out. Yeah,
They go into a V, touch their toes, then like straighten out again.
I've seen that at the Olympics.
Yes, I also have seen that at the Olympics. So thank you for that illustration. And
Yeah,
that
no,
visual
honestly,
aid.
that's super helpful.
Yes. Inverse dive.
Also, there's no, if someone literally was like, I will do something bad if you don't do this dive, I would the bad thing would happen. There's no way mentally I can make my body do that.
Absolutely same.
I would smack my head so hard.
She continues, I set up for my dive on the board, and usually I bounce off the board 3 times before I jump off. On the third bounce, when I went to jump off the board, my foot slipped. My foot slipped off the board, and I scraped the entire shin
Oh my gosh.
across the diving board before flopping face first into the water in front of the entire crowd.
Oh, I forgot this is like a meet.
It's a meet. It's not practice or just like goofing off at the pool.
No, this is like the finale.
A meet. So there's like
there's an audience.
There's an audience.
There's college scouts.
Oh my God. Luckily, she continues, I was okay. I was bleeding, but I was fine. This was one of the most embarrassing moments of my entire life, but all I could do at that time, and even now, is just laugh out loud to avoid the humiliation. All I can think of is just like the clap, the like sound of like,
and then her underwater
belly
just
flopping.
like scream, while her shin is like bleeding out. Oh my gosh.
Poor honey. I'm so sorry. She continues, and now I have a 6-inch scar to remind me of this embarrassing moment that I will never be able to live down. And I know you ladies love pictures, so I've attached a picture of me and my injury too for reference. Hopefully this gave you ladies a good laugh today. Love, Taryne.
I love a good scar.
So here is her gnarly leg.
Ooh, yeah.
It's actually pretty bad.
Ouch.
And then she also included a photo of her.
Gorgeous.
And she's just,
stunning.
I don't know if that was dance day or what, but you look gorgeous.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Tan, the flower in the hair. It's just like, it's summer. It feels like summer.
I'm sure all you had to do was get up out of the pool and walk in your little cute bathing suit, and all the boys forgot immediately.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, would not have recovered that well. I'm not attractive in
Coming
certain
out of
areas.
The pool, because same.
Working out, traveling on an airplane, and swimming. My friends would come out with their mermaid hair, and I'm like, why do I look like me and you look like you? I don't understand. Not attractive.
Yeah. Also,
attractive.
I think there's hair that looks really good coming out of the pool, and where I don't know if it's my hairline or what, but I look bald.
Yeah.
I look bald. And like some girls, if they have curls, like it's kind of crimpy looking. And like some girls, like it just perfectly frames their face because they have a good hairline. Because of my widow's peaks, I just look bald.
No.
So
it's not
it's unfortunate.
It's not it.
It's not. The swim life didn't call us.
No, it didn't call us. No,
it's on the cards for
I can't
us.
hold my breath for crap. Ash can't.
I can't
breathe underwater.
Breathe underwater.
Breathe
I can't
out.
hold my breath underwater.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But that guy, remember the fun fact you told me that someone broke a 20-minute record holding their breath? Dear God, I could never.
Part fish.
Mermaid.
Wow.
Merman.
Well, thank you so much for writing that in. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. I just mentally
And a Taryn,
pictured the whole thing.
A fellow Taryne.
Yeah. We're great. We're great. I haven't met a Taryn that I didn't like.
Me neither. I don't know that I've met another Taryne.
Really?
I'm trying to think of a situation where I have, and I don't think so.
Yeah. Usually I do because I say Taryn and then someone's like, oh my gosh, their name's Taryn. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is funny because it's like most people with that name, like, or, if you say Ashley, even I'm sure who you're saying it to knows another Ashley, but they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, my friend's name is Ashley.
Right.
But Taryn, because it is more rare.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Great times. Okay, I'm going to get into our first story. It is titled, When Is It Time to Let Go?
Oh, no.
I know.
Probably.
Hi, Taryn and Ashley. My name is, get ready to bleep, Michaela. And she says, I'd like to stay anonymous because with a name like that, you can't hide too much.
Yeah, I bet that's true.
Yeah. Speaking of unique names, I just wanted to first thank you two for being such amazing role models and empowering women to all those you inspire. Empowering.
We'll take that compliment.
We will.
We accept that compliment.
You know what's crazy? To a lot of people, they probably look at us and are like, those are such strong women. Like, I aspire to be like them. But little do they know, like, we both have struggled with just feeling like we're literal, like, dirt on the bottom of our own shoe and, like, been so low and insecure. And, like, we look at someone else being like, oh, if only I could be like them. But that's why the cycle of, like, comparing yourself to someone is so toxic. Because everyone has their own stuff. Like, everyone's striving to be something else.
Yeah,
so,
and you have seasons of going through things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I will take that, that we empower you. And I love that because that is our goal when we're here, to be empowering.
Yes, ma'am.
The impact and the advice that you two offer truly is changing the world and making it a better place. Thank you for being unapologetically yourselves and sharing so much vulnerability about your own lives. I'm a photographer and commute a lot for work, and your podcasts are such an amazing part of my life. Also, I'm not going to lie. This is part of the reason I picked this story because I am manifesting the crap out of this connection.
Oh.
It's going to be a thing.
Oh.
Anonymous, I almost said your name, but we're not supposed to. I'm expecting a DM in my inbox after you hear this.
Okay.
P.S. I work for the NHL. Okay.
Taryn.
So hearing you two talk about going to the Kings game and enjoying hockey made me smile so big.
Perfect. So you're going to send us tickets.
Tickets, or I just need a connection to a hockey player because I really feel like that is part of my journey. Even if it's just a date.
Yeah.
I love a hockey player.
She
Love a hockey
does.
player.
If Taryne had a type.
So if I need to travel to you to go to whatever I got to do, I'm expecting something out of this.
Yeah, she knows your name. So.
And we could hang.
She's coming for you.
And you could connect me. So I'm waiting. I'm looking in my DMs.
Yeah.
Every day, all day. Refreshing.
Every day.
Okay. Hearing you two give such genuine and thoughtful advice on my long drives are what get me through the longest days and put a smile on my face. Thank you so much for having this platform that gives so much back to your listeners and makes a difference in so many ways. Keep absolutely killing the game and being your own individual beautiful souls.
Oh,
sweetest. Now on to my story. First off, I'm a 2 on the Enneagram.
Yay.
Besties. So that may help in understanding where I'm coming from and how I'm feeling. I am a very loving and caring person with so much forgiveness and kindness in my heart. But as I keep getting older, I realize that I deserve to feel important and valued as a friend as well.
Yes, you do.
This story is very triggering to me because it is true. Like,
Yes.
I feel like all 2s can relate to this. I'm always the friend that is understanding and doesn't get mad when my friends bail or reschedule plans on me. I am often the one reaching out to create plans and keep the friendship going in a lot of cases. However, I'm getting to the point where I feel as though I deserve better and I deserve the love and respect that I give out. I pounded on the table if you didn't hear that. Here's my question or what I need advice on. I graduated college 5 years ago, and ever since graduation, there have been a handful of friends that I've kept where we only see each other once or twice a year. I completely understand that life is busy for everyone, and as you get older, it's harder to see friends and prioritize friendships. However, I'm really struggling lately because with all of these friends, I'm constantly reaching out and asking to get together, making sure they know I'm here for them if they're going through a tough time, etc. But none of them even respond to my messages anymore or actually make the effort into seeing me or following through with any plans. Should I take that as a sign that they just don't care about the friendship anymore, or should I continue trying to push and maintain the friendship with them? It's really affecting my mental health, and it's breaking my heart and frustrating me because I've given them so many chances and am so empathetic with their situations and understanding that life gets busy. But when is enough enough? When do you make that tough decision to put your foot down and just let it go? The saddest part about some of these friendships is that if I don't reach out, I truly don't think I'd ever hear from them again. Maybe it's because I care too much or because I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but I thought that I meant more to them than they are showing. It's so hard giving all you have to a relationship and not feeling good enough to keep in contact with. Have you guys ever dealt with friendships like these? How do you deal with them moving forward? Thank you so much for taking the time to read this. I've been listening to the pod for over 3 years now, so if I ever heard you two read this on it, I wouldn't know how to control my excitement. Thank you for being the older sisters I always wanted. Keep inspiring us and making this world a better place. Much love, Anonymous.
Cute.
Ugh, this one broke my heart.
Cute.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Do you want me to start?
I feel sorry.
Oh, no. I feel like we read each other's pauses, so I couldn't tell if that was a like, I'm going to say something or if I should jump.
Yeah, I mean,
you go, boo.
I was just thinking that if I were in that place, there would have to be some kind of breaking point.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're there. And I feel like life gives us moments like this where it almost like weeds out people for you.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not saying that you have to completely cut them off whatsoever, but you absolutely should not be pouring as much of yourself into it if they're not giving it back.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that sometimes it's a hard decision because sometimes you had beautiful memories together or you really thought you were really close.
Yeah.
XYZ, you fill in the blank. But I think life is kind of just like showing you who's true and who's not. Mm-hmm. And I think it's okay to take that and be like, okay, I'm going to distance myself from these people.
Yeah.
For me, for my health reasons, for my sanity. So I'm not constantly pouring yourself out onto people who aren't going to pour into you, right? Like, I feel like the whole thing with friendships is like, you know, people have down moments where they need extra love, and then other people, sometimes it seesaws, and then then it's the other person's turn to be going through something. And you should be receiving the same love that you're giving out back. And if they're not able to do that,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong in distancing yourself.
Yeah.
They're probably doing that for their own reasons. No one knows, like they have their own life, but you shouldn't take that personally in any way. I would just say noted and distance yourself.
Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. Is hiring challenging? Yes. Do you love a good challenge? Also, yes. You need a hiring partner that can help you rise to the challenge. You need Indeed.
Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed's a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. They streamline hiring with powerful tools that find you matched candidates. And with Instant Match, over 80% of employers get quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment that they sponsor a job, according to Indeed Data US. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy, because candidates you invite to apply are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in search, according to US Indeed data. And Indeed's hiring platform matches you with quality candidates instantly. So join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast.
Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/unsolicited. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/unsolicited. Just go to Indeed.com/unsolicited and support the show by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/unsolicited. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. I'm going to just speak so freaking direct right now to you, because I feel like I have experience in this and I've learned so much about the way that I operate and the way I recovered from this, because don't freaking get it twisted. There is nothing more heartbreaking than feeling like someone that you've invested so much in does not care about you the same. Like, it's heartbreaking. And so I think that I hear you, and I literally, like, my stomach sank the first time I read this, because I can relate for sure. But I've learned some things that have made my life so much easier. And I feel like a lot of people, especially if you're a person who is an Enneagram 2, or if you're like, what the frick is that? Well, first of all, take the Enneagram. What's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. Second of all, it's basically just a person who is such a giver, like a person who would give the shirt off their back for like any of their friends and is always there. If that is your personality style, first of all, you do deserve better. Like, bottom line, what you're going through is heartbreaking and hard, and you shouldn't be feeling that. So I think it's important to know, like, it sucks what's happening and it's not fair and you don't deserve that. Like, bottom line, on that same route, it's not your fault. Like, nothing about you is wrong, and that's why people don't want to be around you, because that's the first place your mind goes, is like, what did I do? Like, am I annoying? Am I not a good friend? Like, what have I done to like cause people to like leave me? It's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. The older you get, the more people just get into their own lives, and it's just something that happens. Like, not everyone can juggle friendships the same way. So it's not your fault. You do deserve better. You need to find your own boundaries for sure. And if you hear nothing I'm saying, hear this. You deserve to be giving the same energy as you're receiving. And if someone's not giving you that energy back, then you need to find it from somebody else. And I think that where I struggled is I kept, what's that phrase? Like, beating a dead horse. Like, I kept just trying my hardest to get the friendship back, to get the friendships, like, to get more time, to like, okay, well, like, if they're not wanting to hang out with me, then let me like show them like how fun I can be, like how I'm a good friend, like let me do this, let me do that. Like, and you basically like are just robbing yourself of every ounce of like energy you have in friendships. So I think that you need to focus on what you're giving your energy to. And it is heartbreaking to accept the fact that you need to let that go because you want to keep fighting hard to like get the love back from the people you want it from the most. But at the same time, it's not going to help either one of you in that scenario. So for me, what I had to learn is I need to stop hyperfixating on certain friendships and learn when I need to like broaden out and go and spend more time with like other friends who at that time could give me more energy back. And what is helpful is knowing it doesn't have to be this giant breakup of a friendship. Like for me, the older I've gotten, the more I don't take offense to stuff. If someone doesn't respond to me, I'm like, okay. Like I don't respond to everyone. If someone like doesn't reach out on my birthday, I'm like, it's fine. Like why am I letting that define any part of my happiness? If someone, whatever, fill in the blank. But I've created so much space in my life to where now I have so many friends that I have great relationships with that when they reach out, I enjoy them. And then when they disappear for 2 more years, I wish them best. And if I want to reach out, I do. If I don't, I don't. But it's like I took all of that pressure off of it and I just let everything be what it is. Now, some people disappeared and never came back. That's fine. But I know if we ever ran into each other, it would be amazing. Some people felt the distance and were like, hey, is everything okay? And like came and checked in on me. It's a big balance game, but the important part is that you strip away you beating yourself into the ground, trying to prove to someone that you're worthy of being loved, because I'm telling you right now, you are worthy of love. And if you're not getting it from those people, then you need to shift view and accept it from the people that are literally sitting there wanting to give you that love, because you can hyperfixate on the wrong thing, you know? So I feel for you so much, and I hope that you're hearing everything I'm saying, because I'm telling you, once I shifted that mentality, the freedom that came with that and the beautiful friendships that came from that freedom of like not focusing on just like a few people who weren't like giving me the love that like I wanted so desperately, like my whole world opened up and I've been so much of a like happier person, and I'm actually getting like fulfilled now, where I don't think like I was letting myself be fulfilled by everyone in my life. You know what I mean? So I think it's something where you just need to like open yourself up, take the pressure off, don't feel like you have to make these big decisions, and just enjoy the people for what they're able to give in their own way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, 1,000%. I don't know how much you, Anonymous, have studied twos, but twos struggle with this a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not their burden in life, but it's kind of like their burden in life. Like they, all they know is to love and love hard. And that isn't always reciprocated because that's not what everyone is able to do. Obviously, people go through seasons of life where they're able to give a lot, where they're not able to give a lot. And that's just going to get more and more defined the older that you get. But with two specifically, and obviously Taryn can resonate with this, if there's a problem, they're just going to love harder. Yeah. If there's like something's weird, something's off, they're just going to give more. And it is the way that I read it is like they're constantly giving love in hopes of receiving it back. And that is something that twos have to figure out, because not everyone's able to give you exactly how much you're pouring out, because you're pouring out so much.
No,
it's like an insane amount that you guys are able to pour out, and it's a beautiful thing. But when you want it back, it's like, oh, but I don't know how to give that back. Yeah. You know? And I think it's so important, and every two has to come to a moment where they learn to maybe give themselves that love. Yeah. Yeah. And learn how to, oh, okay, I'm not getting it from her. I'm not getting it from him. I'm not even getting it from my family. Like, where am I supposed to get it from? You are able to like give to yourself. And I think that is something that every two is going to live life and come to terms with. And one of these days when you are having, a two moment, I think it'll be a beautiful moment where you're able to realize like, oh, I don't need to depend on other people for this love and validation that I'm seeking so hard. I can get that from myself. And I can have moments where I'm able to fulfill myself by like just being me and like taking me time. And I know it sounds so silly, but like self-love moments, me time moments, devotionals, journals, like moments like that are what bring you to big realizations like that. And I think it takes a little bit longer for it to. Taryn can verify or not verify, whatever. But I think as much as I've studied on twos, mostly because of Taryn and because of my mom, that's what I've discovered. Yeah. And I think everyone comes to that moment at a certain period of life. I think twos find it a little bit later. And I think you're currently about to figure that out right now. Yeah. And I'm actually super excited for you for that.
I'm so glad you said that because that's such a good point. And it's a really hard, the switch of the mentality you've always had to like a newer, healthier one takes a lot of effort and it takes a very, very hard, lonely season because you have to shift all of your focus and energy on learning how to build up that self-love that like you haven't really had before.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely my journey over the past couple years. And it's funny because it was like a pendulum because then I became so obsessed with just like my me time and it was just like me and I loved spending time with myself and my new like, you know,
habits.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I need to be social again. Like I had so many friends that were like, hello, are you going to come out? Like, where are you? Like,
she
let's
stopped
do
responding.
Stuff. Yeah.
I was like, are you dead?
Are you alive? So I think like it's finding that healthy balance of falling in love with yourself, becoming your own genuine best friend. And then learning to accept and appreciate the things as they come and not reading into anything.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And if someone is like really, really crossing your boundaries and you need to cut them off, then you do that.
Yeah.
But you know that you've given all you can and then you accept what you're willing to accept. So there's a lot of freedom that comes, but it is a very, 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 very hard and uncomfortable journey into flipping that mentality.
1,000%. And what you guys, the picture that you paint of like just fixing everything with love and fixing everything with like more love is a beautiful, beautiful painting, but it is, to be blunt, like a fantasy.
Yeah.
Because it's just not always, it will be like that at sometimes, but it's just not always going to be like that. And again, to put it bluntly, like if you were a 1 and this was happening, those friends would have been cut off already.
Yeah.
It'd be like, no, okay, bye. Like they would just,
I
don't even think that type of person, type A person for listeners who don't know, would take a second to think about it. Like if they're not in their immediate circle, they'd be like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
And I think I lean more towards that way, but like it wouldn't have affected them at all.
Yeah.
They would have been like, okay, you're in the acquaintance category now. Adjust.
Yeah.
You know, and that just goes to show like that's a superpower that they have, that the type A person has, that they're able to like do that so easily. You guys just feel so much that it's harder to let go. But like it's cool. It's so, this is why I love the Enneagram. This is why I love learning about personalities, is because everyone is so different and so intricate. And I'm just super excited to like, for your future, to be able to learn more about yourself in this way and to adjust accordingly and to just have boundaries with people. Also, I knew there was something else I wanted to say. I've talked about her so many times, but the Queen, Brene Brown, posted something the other day. She was on a podcast and she was talking about her relationship with her husband, because what you're experiencing, Anonymous, happens to almost every marriage where you have become a partner to someone, you are officially doing life together with your life partner. And it's so common, specifically for women, but for all people, to depend on that person so heavily. They're going to fail you. One day they're going to wake up in a mood and you're going to take it so personally and it's going to wreck your whole day. Sometimes they're just not able to love you the way that you want them to love you or that they've loved you in the past. So you got to prepare for it. And something that her and her husband have come up with is, you know, she comes home from a long day or whatever, and so does he. They get into the house, the kids are going crazy or whatever, and she's like, hey, I'm at a 20 right now. I've got 20% in my tank. That's as much as I can give. That's as much as I can be a mom. That's as much as I can love you. That's as much as I can help right now. And I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, awesome. You take noted. I'm not going to take anything that you say personal today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cover the extra 80% because I'm able to. And he'll be like, I'm personally at like a 60, but like I'll cover the rest. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
And they give each other percentages. And I think that is such a beautiful thing that can
really
be
cool.
translated into friendships for you. So if you, after you sift through and get rid of the people and you have your close circle, whether it's one person, 2 people, 3 people, I don't know, I would start asking this of them, because I think another thing that twos struggle with is assuming that people understand what's happening, and not everyone does. I don't. Taryn knows I need a broken down outline of exactly what you're feeling, because I'm not connected with my emotions in that way. And if you are able to let them know, like, hey, I'm struggling right now. I'm at a 5%. I really need your help right now. That lets them know the severity of the situation.
Yeah.
And that gives them a number to work with, instead of being like, oh, you need something, like what? I don't know what you need, But if you're saying you're at a 5, oh, let me drop what I'm doing and come over. If you say you're at a 50, I'll be like, hey, okay, I'll call you later, But like, I think understanding a severity for other people that aren't twos helps a lot.
Yeah. I think too, I have like a real life analogy, because this like just happened to me yesterday. But with twos, their hearts are so big and vulnerable, right? So when someone hurts them, it is an unnatural hurt that happens. And then the second something else happens, it's like pouring alcohol into that like open wound. And it's almost like I bit my lip like really freaking hard yesterday, and then my lip swells, right? So for literally the last 2 days, every time I go to take a bite of food, I bite into it again, because now it's swollen, so it's like in the way of my teeth.
Yeah.
And it's like I keep re-injuring that, because like the injury is inflamed, and it just happens. It gets in the way. And I think that's what can happen with twos, is like you get hurt by something and you become so like, it's like your heart is just like swollen and open and bleeding, and you don't know what to do with it. So then that person, even though they just in their minds are like, I didn't answer one text, that unanswered text just like you just bit right back into your lip, you know, and it hurt worse than the first time. And then it's this like never ending cycle, because what's so beautiful about people like twos is their emotions and their heart is so big. And that's why like they put so much good out into the world. But what comes with that is they're so freaking sensitive to everything. So it's one of those like catch-22 things that it's really hard when you're a two, because you get hurt really bad by certain things, but it's also beautiful because you can like love ferociously, right? Yeah. But it's one of those things where you have to get in check of how much you let things hurt you. Because if you get in that cycle, this person thinks they're just being normal, or they just were busy or whatever. But really, like, you're in your bed crying every night because you feel so neglected, right? Yeah. So it's one of those things where you really have to get yourself in check and build up that wall where you're not taking offense to everything and you're understanding, like, okay, she was busy. That doesn't mean she doesn't love me. Like, if I really am concerned, I can reach out and be like, hey, I know you've been busy, but like, I really need you like right now. Like, please call me today because I need to talk, and be specific. So I think there's a lot of things you need to like start to prepare yourself and build distances between things, and start that whole journey of falling in love with yourself and creating realistic expectations for friends. And then from there, like, your life is you're going to have so much freaking space in your mind now. You're gonna like, the sky's the limit because you're not hyper fixated on trying to make friendships work. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, but I feel you, girl.
So good.
Woof.
Listen, I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you guys want us to do another Enneagram series,
right? I feel like it's due.
I would not mind just
like
throwing that out there. Let us know.
We should take a poll.
Let us know. All right, let's get into mine. This one is titled A Situationship Across the World.
Ooh, I've had a few of those.
Hi, Ash and Taryne. I wanted to start off by saying you guys are amazing and I love the pod. Thank you for all of the great advice and insight every single week. She is going to say her name. Her name's but she would like to stay anonymous for this story. Your wish is our command. Today, I need advice on a bit of a situationship, if you can even call it that. Me and this guy, we'll call him Chris, have known each other since freshman year, his sophomore year of high school when we did track together. I am now a sophomore in college, and he is in the Air Force stationed on the other side of the world. We hadn't really talked at all after his senior year until about a year ago we got in touch, and we have been texting on and off ever since. I had a boyfriend at the time in high school, but I did have a little bit of a crush on Chris during track, and come to find out, he had one on me too. Ooh.
That's the worst, though,
Juicy.
finding out after.
Yeah.
Story of my life.
I was honestly shocked to hear this when we started talking, and apparently he was surprised too. But a few weeks after we reconnected, he left for base. Throughout the year, we flirted here and there. He said things like he wishes he was home with me and he wants to be together in the future. But he also said once that he wasn't ready for a relationship right now, especially since he's so far away and he doesn't want to hurt me. But there's just something about him that keeps him on my mind. I had a short relationship this past spring semester, but ended things because I just could not stop thinking about Chris. Chris. He will be on base for at least another year. Might come home to visit once, and then he has at least another few years in the Air Force. It's been hard because I care about him and I like him a lot, but I don't think anything serious can happen between us anytime soon. I'd just like some advice on what you would do if you were me. It's hard to move on because we never got to try to be together, and I don't want to give up all hope, but I also don't want to stay stuck on him forever if it never happens between us. I'm sorry if this was long. It was not.
Yeah.
Can me and Taryn just take a moment to say your emails are never long? Everyone who says that, you're wrong. It's perfect.
But everyone who doesn't say that, it's long. No, I'm just kidding.
She continues, I'm sorry if this was long and confusing, but thank you so much for the advice or even just for reading this. Sincerely, Anonymous.
Woof. Woof.
I love that he had a crush on you, and I love that you secretly had a crush on him, and I love that you reconnected. I think this is one of those things where it all depends on when he comes home to visit. I think yes, give it a shot. You guys have a cute story. You guys both like each other. Like, people have made long distance work in the past. It's totally fine, but you haven't even tried. So like, I think it deserves a fair shot, but I would not
Put all the
eggs in the Chris basket, because it could easily not work out. So what I would do is I would live your life. I would do your thing. I would go on dates. I would be socially dating, meeting new people. If you happen to be single by the time he's visiting home, give it a shot. And if it works out, awesome. But if it doesn't, then you know.
Yeah.
That feels right? That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's so hard because, I don't know, one of the things that stuck out to me, I feel like when a guy says, hey, I don't think we should do stuff because, like, I don't want to hurt you. That, honestly, that to me always, like, a tiny antenna pops up that I'm like, that's interesting, because why would you feel the need to say, like, you don't want to hurt me? And then to me, I'm like, and this is me just because I overthink things too, but I'm like, oh, okay, so, like, he knows, like, he's going to be doing, like, most people, I don't mean to generalize, but I feel like I can say this because I saw a TikTok and it was a person that was in the service that said it, okay? It's not me saying it, but he said it. But he was saying, like, it is very common that when they're overseas or they're, like, you know, they're in this new place, they're with a bunch of guys, they're, like, going out and just, like, living their life, right?
Yeah.
Like, whether that means they're, like, hooking up or, like, partying with certain people, or they just, like, I mean, maybe he just, like, knows he doesn't have the mental capacity to, like, take on a long distance relationship and focus on the career that he's obviously, like, chosen to go down.
Well, we're talking about his first year, so that means there's a total of 4 years in the future of him doing long distance, which is a big
very
commitment.
long time. That's a long time to commit to something that there isn't really that foundation to.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I push more towards I don't know because I don't know, Anonymous, like exactly how you are and how you think. I know for me, it is very easy for me to fixate on a guy and to be so invested and basically obsessed with something working out that I build up so much in my mind that's not even like reality.
Which isn't that what everyone does?
Everybody
does. Oh, you
does.
haven't actually dated yet. You're texting good morning. You're finding out about each other. It's exciting. And of course you're going to start fantasizing about what it could be like being together.
Yeah.
I think, I still agree. I think it all depends on when he's home and you guys actually go on a date and you guys actually like get to like try that. Cause he could be like, oh,
he wants to go on a date when he comes back.
She didn't actually write that, but she said, what did she say?
Like, are they, I don't know if I missed it, but are they still talking now? Or is it he left and said, I don't want a commitment?
They're still talking. He didn't say he didn't want a commitment. He will be on base for at least another year, will come home to visit at some point, and still has a few years in the Air Force.
Okay, what did he say around the time where he said, I don't want to hurt you? What was the sentence he said again?
She said he also said that he wasn't ready for a relationship right now, especially since he's so far away and he doesn't want to hurt me.
Okay. But
he said he wishes he was home with her, and he thinks about them being together in the future. So, and I will say, I know that those can be things that like the typical like player says. However, he's not wrong. Like, I do think there is a seriousness of like, realistically, I have 4 years and like, I don't want to be holding you back. I don't want to be held back. Like if someone walks into our lives, I understand that. And there is a realness to that. But again, I do think it really matters on if and when you guys actually meet up in person and what that's like.
Yeah. I will say though, I mean, he's pretty much said what he's needed to say to like go on and do whatever he wants.
For sure. Yeah.
So
and you have to be okay with that.
I would not like, I feel like 4 years is a lot to commit to like fixating on a person, being so sad, being like, I haven't heard from him in so long, and not dating and waiting and all this stuff. Like, to me, I don't feel like you really have an option as of now. Mm-hmm. So I would say the same as Ash. Like when he comes home, vibe it out. If you guys have like an amazing like 2 days together and you both decide like, hey, like let's actually try to make this work, cool, then do it. Like it's been done. People can do long distance for sure. But I will say, I think that's a lot to like,
it's a big task,
bank on. Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of it, you don't want to like look back and be like, oh my gosh, I spent all this time for it to end in like a text of him saying like, by the way, like I've started dating someone. Yeah. Cause it's really hard to like process that, because you're like, we weren't even dating, but like, why do I feel like I need closure? And why do I feel like I just wasted time? And then you resent and all this stuff. It can definitely happen. Mm-hmm. So I would just be very careful. And sometimes us girls, the second we know we can't have something, we want it so much more.
Yep.
So I think that you need some genuine like space and experiences with other people. And it'll be interesting if you start to date someone else, if you're like, whoa, like it wasn't even him. It was just that feeling of wanting a relationship and a connection.
Yeah.
And crazier things have happened than if you guys both go on and start dating each other. 4 years later, you run into each other at the local grocery store.
Yeah.
You never know, right?
1,000%. He can come home. You can have an amazing few days together. And then you guys both go off and like live your own lives. And like he's just in the back of your head, you know? And like if you come across someone else and he's your person, then bye, Chris.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, but like this is where I'm headed. But like, you never know. And again, you could also meet up with him and it's just like an obvious no.
Yeah.
But at least you know. What I don't want for you is you to be like, oh, this could happen in the future. And it's this constant wondering of like, what if with Chris? And I'd much rather you like give it a shot and know that he's a great guy and worth like maybe waiting for, or know that he's not it. Like, we need an answer, and I personally would need an answer.
Yeah. And I think you just check in with yourself. Like, if being his friend is fine and you check in, you keep talking throughout the years and you're having fun, like with a random flirt or whatever, but you're still fine.
We love a random
then
flirt.
Cool. But if it's to the point where all you do, you're sad at night, all you do is think about him, check your phone to see if he's texted, then you need to like full blown cut and move on with your life, because that's like not healthy.
You guys need to be on the same page. If he's saying that he's not ready for a relationship, but like wants to see you when he comes home, you better be on the same page. Otherwise, you're just going to get your heart broken if you're like looking for Mr. Right when he's over here completely outright saying he's not ready for a relationship. Like, let's not paint a picture that is so clearly not it.
No, for sure.
Be honest with yourself. Be honest with what you can and cannot handle. If that does allow you to hang out with him when he comes home, awesome. If that doesn't, more power to you. We love boundaries.
Yeah.
And taking care of ourselves and our hearts.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
Oh, star-crossed lovers. Can I tell like a super quick story?
Sure.
So I think you know the story. I used to go on, like every year I would go to Africa with a nonprofit, and we were in like deep in the bush staying at this like quote unquote hotel. It was like literally like these tiny little rooms, and like it was great. Like all the people that worked there, we had like meals with them, and it was beautiful. I loved it. But one day I was like standing outside and I hear this like beautiful Irish accent, and I was like, what is happening? Like, where am I? Who is he? I need to know everything. I walk outside and just like lock eyes with the most beautiful, like this tall ginger beard, like Irish guy, right? And I was just like smitten immediately, but could not speak to him. So every time like we would like pass in the hall or something, I'd just be like smile and whatever. I was in love with him. Yeah. So we were gonna leave, and I was so sad. So I wrote this note basically saying, oh my gosh, I think like you're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I can't remember if I attached my email or like my Facebook. It was something like that.
Buttercup Lovin' at AOL.
So then I like walked by his room, and he was in his room like listening to music and just kind of like doing random stuff, but his door was open. So I literally chuck the letter in and then run, right? And so I go on the rest of the trip. I don't have service or anything. And when I get home, I turn my phone on, and I had like an email from him. And he was like, oh my gosh, I almost didn't see your letter until the last day I was like packing stuff up. And so anyways, we start this thing for over a year. We were like basically pen pals, like, but I was like in love with him. Like he was just wonderful. And I was so invested in it. And then it was like a year and a half later or something, finally, like, he hadn't been responding as much, and I had noticed it, but I was like, and I was kind of preparing myself, but I finally get this long note, and he had like met someone and been like dating, and it was like going to be more serious, and then they ended up like getting engaged, and
Cute.
I was so sad, but it was one of those where I was like, we literally have never even like physically talked in person.
Have a shot.
But that's what I was saying. You have to know who you are, because I know me. Like I will be so attached to someone even just through email, right?
So true. Yeah.
So, but that was my star-crossed lover story.
It's so funny how you don't have to necessarily interact for you to fully play out this entire relationship and commit yourself to this person who could very well not even deserve it. So that's what I mean when I say like it very much depends on when you see him, if you see him when he comes to visit, because you'll know. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I fully believe in gut instincts, and when you meet him, you will either, I promise you will either know he's worth fighting for and worth the wait, or at least worth trying, or you'll get the sense that it's just not it. And that's totally fine. And if you end up doing like a fun hookup and that just being it, like awesome. Like I love that for you. But like you know.
Yeah, you'll know.
And that's why it just depends. You gotta try. So we know, you know?
Woof. 4 years, man. That's rough.
That is long. Rough. That's a whole high school.
Literally.
That's a whole college.
Or what college is supposed to be. Not like me and
Not
Ash.
like we know. I looked directly at the camera and was like, not like we know. Like I was like telling a joke to a friend.
Yep.
You know, it's you guys.
Yeah,
that's why
friends.
You should watch us on YouTube, so you would get my eye contact.
You would get our occasional eye contact.
Taryn's finger guns every once in a while.
I do. do that a lot. You're right. You're right.
She just did a finger gun.
I did.
So should we wrap it up with the dad joke?
Yes, I would love.
Perfect.
Okay. Why wouldn't the shrimp share his treasure?
Because it was tiny.
Good guess.
Why?
Because he was a little shellfish.
Ah. That was good.
Because he was tiny. That's your first full-blown guess, not just saying words. Proud of you.
No.
Yeah.
I disagree with that statement.
Okay.
I've tried in the past. Guys, you already know the drill. If you made it to the dad joke, we love you the mostest. Take this time to please write us any emails you have, serious, funny, happen to you, happen to a friend, doesn't matter. Anything that you want advice on, we would love for you to send it to us. What's the email, Taryn? Hit them.
Advice unsolicitedpod@gmail.com.
Yes, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you in the next episode.
Love you. Bye.